Good evening, everyone. We're going to start the program at this time. So if you would, please go ahead and take your seat. My name is Charlie Newald, and We're good. Good evening. This is a sign of a good party, no one wanting to sit down. That's what I've been told, and I think it's true. My name is Charlie Newald, and I've been honored to chair the recognition dinner tonight. This is our 22nd recognition dinner, and this is one of the largest crowds that we've had. We have over 650 people tonight. So let's hear it. That's applauding for yourselves. Thank you all for coming. And it's my pleasure to introduce Deacon Kenneth Robinson, who is a native of Knoxville and a graduate of the University of Tennessee. Deacon Robinson will now give the invocation. Thank you, Deacon.
Thank you. First of all, giving honor to our Lord, I'd like to thank you all for letting me be here for the invocation. First of all, I'd like to thank all of the honorees for their time and effort for this occasion. I'd also like to thank those many people who have traveled near and far to come to welcome the honorees. I'd like to thank those who have had a privilege to host this occasion. We're all thankful for those who have taken the time to host this occasion also. And lastly, I would like to thank those who have blessed this occasion. Thank you very much for having us and this occasion. Thank you very much.
Well, may I have your attention, please? I believe our desserts have been served. Good evening. The coffee has been served, the desserts are laid, and we are following a tradition started by Dean Loser about having a short program that ends on time. And we want to adhere to that, so we're going to start our program, if you don't mind. And let me extend my welcome to each and every one of you here tonight. This is a special evening for the Nashville School of Law, made more special by your presence, and we very much appreciate your celebrating with us as the Nashville School of Law continues its 104-year tradition of enabling Tennesseans from all walks of life to obtain a quality legal education. The proceeds of this dinner are going to be used to provide scholarships so that the next generation of aspiring lawyers can fulfill their dreams out on, as some of our students call it, Harvard by the highway. Now, we are so fortunate this evening to have many persons who hold elective office, other state, federal, and local officials that are in government service, others who aspire to hold public office. We welcome you all here tonight. Because our school could not do what it does without the approval of the Tennessee Supreme Court, I'd like to make special recognition and mention of two of the justices of the court that are here tonight, Justice Connie Clark and Justice Jeff Bivens. We're glad you're here. Now, there are other dignitaries here tonight that I would dearly love to recognize personally and to thank for their public service. I hope they will not object if I do not do that, because in the interest of time, after dinner program should be mercifully short. But I would appreciate it if all elected officials, persons in public service, and those who are candidates for public office, if you would stand and let us thank you for all that you do. Now, I do not have to tell the story of our school to the group that is assembled here tonight, but in fact, the story of our school is the story of its graduates. So would all the persons who have graduated from the Nashville School of Law stand and let us thank you for all that you're doing. Now, in addition to that group, there's also a group that is sometimes overlooked that I would be remiss if I did not also mention, and that is the group of persons who, employers, spouses, friends, who have supported Nashville School of Law students while they study at the Nashville School of Law. That is hard work in and of itself. So any one of you who have supported a graduate of the Nashville School of Law, now, this is going to be an audience participation event before I'm finished. Now, then I get to the Nashville School of Law students themselves. Without these students, there would be no Nashville School of Law, and what a bunch they are. They range between the ages of 21 and 73. They come from wonderfully varied backgrounds. They have a broad spectrum of career goals in mind, but there are two things that unite each and every one of these students. The first one is their desire to obtain a law degree. The second is their determination to overcome any obstacle to obtain that degree. These are the dreamers that our society sorely needs. And so would all current NSL students please stand and let us thank you. We admire your grit, your tenacity, and your potential, and we wish you every success. Now, there's some students out there saying, after the grade that he gave me, I'm not so sure how much success he wishes, but true, yeah. Now, and in addition to the students, the school's Board of Trustees and the staff are the foundation of the school's success. And 4 of our 5 trustees have joined us this evening. Tom Cone, our board chair, Aubrey Harwell, Doug Fisher, and Judge Frank Clement. Would you all stand? All of us on the staff appreciate your vision and leadership. And at this time, if the staff would stand, they're all at the back of the room. And let us thank you for all your hard work as well. And finally, there are the persons whose heads and hands and hearts organized this dinner. You've already heard from our, I think, chairman for life, Charlie Newald. Charlie, thank you for your 6 years as chairing this event. We've reached new heights every year since Charlie took over. But Charlie has not done it alone. We have the dinner committee, the class chairs, staff members, and volunteers who have made this night a success. So if you all would stand to be recognized too. Yeah. Now that's all the standing you have to do for a while. Now, in addition to the fellowship and camaraderie that we've enjoyed here tonight, though, we have some other important matters of business to attend to. It is going to be our collective privilege to recognize 4 individuals for their significant contributions to the Nashville School of Law, to Tennessee's legal system, and to the community in general. Each of these persons merit the spotlight. Their reputations precede them. Because of the length of their reach and the breadth of their impact, my introductions of each of them could be detailed, encyclopedic, and time-consuming. But mindful of the hour and of the precept that after-dinner programs on Friday night when the CMA is in town should be kept short, I am going to limit my introductions. That is not an indication of the limitation on the respect that all of us hold for these individuals. And by the same token, each of the honorees has promised me that they're going to hold their remarks to less than 45 minutes. Now, I'm going to turn first to our Distinguished Faculty Award. The judges and lawyers who comprise our faculty are the lifeblood of the Nashville School of Law. Surveys of all segments of the legal profession and the community in Tennessee identify our faculty as one of the school's greatest assets, and with good reason. Our faculty is comprised of 57 federal, state, and local judges and noted attorneys who give freely of their expertise and experience to help their students. At the Nashville School of Law, today's leaders are training tomorrow's lawyers. For the past 20 years, we have recognized and honored the work of all the faculty by singling out one faculty member whose work epitomizes the commitment and teaching excellence of all his or her colleagues. This year, the Honorable Carlton M. Lewis joins a very distinguished company that includes the likes of Justice William J. Harbison, Doug Fisher, Harris Gilbert, and Judge Ben Cantrell, to name just a few. Magistrate Lewis was born and raised in Knoxville. After obtaining his undergraduate degree at Carson Newman College in Jefferson City, he moved west to Nashville. He graduated from the Nashville School of Law in 1985 and then served as an assistant public defender for 6 years and then joined the firm of Petway and Blackshear. After 7 years in private practice, juvenile court judge Betty Adams Green, who happened to be one of his classmates at NSL, appointed him to serve as a juvenile referee in 1998. Today, he continues to serve the youth of Davidson County as a magistrate in the Davidson County Juvenile Court. Magistrate Lewis joined the Nashville School of Law faculty in 2002. For the past 13 years, his course has been popular and well regarded by his students. They praise his real-world experience and the joy he exhibits, as one of them has said, in, quote, sharing his knowledge of juvenile law and procedure with us students. A former student who now appears regularly in juvenile court has observed, quote, the juvenile law community is fortunate to have such a person as both a magistrate and a law instructor. Juvenile court judge Sheila Calloway herself describes him as a team player, a mentor, an advocate, and a servant. I agree, and the best is yet to come. With the phenomenal support of both Judge Calloway and Magistrate Lewis, beginning this fall, Nashville School of Law students will be afforded an opportunity to gain that valuable real-world experience in juvenile court by serving as advocates in parental termination proceedings and child support proceedings. Magistrate Lewis's role as a teacher extends beyond the Nashville School of Law. He regularly volunteers for mock trial competitions held by the NBA, Vanderbilt Law School, and Belmont Law School. In addition, he has mentored beginning lawyers and law students as a member of both the Harry Phillips American Inn of Court and the Belmont University College of Law American Inn of Court. He is joined tonight by his family, co-workers, and friends. Carlton, if I may, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the stage and present to you the Distinguished Faculty Award for 2015. We're going to get you a hard one. You don't have to open it right now. All right. Thank you. The podium's yours.
Very, very cool. Dean Koch, Chairman Cone, the other award recipients tonight, class of 1985, my friends and family, and all special guests of Nashville School of Law. My love for the Nashville School of Law goes very deep. The Nashville School of Law has afforded me opportunities that I would never have otherwise been able to experience. I have the deepest love and appreciation for the faculty, for their selection of a faculty award winner this year, and I thank you all. I had frequently said, and I don't know if Dean Loser ever actually knew that I said this, so I'll share it with you all again with the promise that you will not share it with Dean Koch. I love the work that I do so much that I would almost do it for free. Dean Koch, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you all very much.
Carlton apologized for not taking the full 45 minutes. I told him we thought it was all right. And I didn't quite hear that last part, so we now gratefully and happily turn to our Distinguished Alumni Awards. The Nashville School of Law is proud of its graduates. They have excelled in many fields of endeavor, including not only the practice of law, but also service as members of the judiciary, federal, state, and local elected officials. They've held public office. They've been involved in not-for-profit service. They are active in the fields of medicine, business, and the arts. Graduates of our school are currently practicing in 90 of the 95 counties in Tennessee. In some Tennessee counties, every member of the bar is a Nashville School of Law graduate. So when you think that this little school's reach is rather limited, you now know we spread from Mountain City to Memphis. Since 1994, we have recognized 29 of our graduates at this dinner, and this year I am delighted to enable us to recognize 2 more. Our first alumni honoree is Martha Beck. Martha is best described as a trailblazer, a person who is out front. Following her graduation from Vanderbilt University, she started teaching English at Maplewood High School. However, 2 unrelated events interrupted her teaching career and sent her in a different direction. The first event involved the father of a student who threatened to kill Martha if she did not pass her son. When Martha asked her husband what he thought she should do, he replied very simply, "You're going to pass him." The second event, unrelated to the first, occurred later when Martha was visibly pregnant with her first child. She was forced to stop teaching because of the school's policy that teachers who were, quote, showing, unquote, could not continue teaching. So Martha left the teaching profession, raised her children, raised them well, but in 1972 she obtained an insurance agent's license and opened Beck & Beck Insurance Company. In 19 85, she and her son Bill enrolled in the Nashville School of Law. I have it on the best authority that Martha was what we refer to as a front row student. She excelled in her studies. Her son Bill was a back row student. They were in the same study group during law school. And involvement in that law school paid great dividends, not only because it was that work that helped them pass the bar and graduate from the Nashville School of Law, but more importantly, another member of that study group became Martha's daughter-in-law when she married Bill following graduation. There are great dividends going to the Nashville School of Law. Well, Martha sold the insurance company, and she and her son have practiced law together in historic Englewood since their graduation. Her style of practice reflects her love of people. It does not matter to Martha if the people who seek her help are royalty or paupers. Martha treats them all the same with dignity and respect. Now, despite the many demands on her time, Martha pursues her love of music by playing the piano. She has also operated a chain of beauty shops and has assisted her husband in his business. In addition, she has volunteered for the Salvation Army, has headed the board of Davidson Academy and Grace Manor Assisted Living, and she is also the president of the board of the Allegra School of Music. Martha and her family have left their mark on the Nashville School of Law in more than one ways. Those today who enter room 100 at our school enter the Beck family court classroom, made possible by the generosity of Martha, Bill, and Pam Beck. Martha, please make your way to the podium to accept our award and to receive our thanks for your efforts to make Nashville a better place.
Thank you, thank you. The photographer is our neighbor. She lives right she lives right down the street from us, from our office. And she's a very good photographer and a good neighbor. Well, I didn't know who he was talking about. There were some things I didn't know what he was talking about, and I don't know where he got all that information, but I am so honored. One thing I knew what he was talking about is when he said, and this is the truth, I was teaching the 8th grade at a school, and I had this boy who couldn't pass. And so I just told him, I said, I just don't know what I can do. You just can't seem to get it. And his daddy wrote me a note. Can you believe that? And and said, you pass him or I'll shoot you. Oh, my. And in these days, you know, that'd be a big deal, but in those days, 55 years ago, can you believe that? Well, everybody thought, you know, well, handle it, do something about it. And I did. He passed with flying colors. But I do thank you so much for recognizing me. I'm not an elected official. I'm not a judge. I'm not anybody. But I do still work 3 days a week, sometimes 4. And I just have more clients than I know what to do with. They just knock the door down, and I don't know why. But I have wonderful help. Gay Rooker helps me. She's wonderful help. And I keep an intern. I just have wonderful help. And we really do service a lot of people. This is a wonderful school. It is dear to my heart. And I thank you so much for coming tonight, for honoring this school. And I thank you so much, Judge Dean Koch, for what you said. Thank you so much.
And I don't reveal my sources. Our second alumni honoree is Robert H. Goodall, Sr. Now, that's much too formal. He is known far and wide as Bobby Goodall. So with his permission, I will refer to him as Bobby. Bobby was born in Bowling Green, but his family moved to Gallatin when he was 3. He was a gifted athlete from a very early age and was captain of both the football team and the basketball team by the time he graduated from Gallatin High School. He enrolled at Vanderbilt University, where he graduated in 1957, following a 2-year interruption of his education by military service. Bobby played guard and kicked extra points on Vanderbilt's football team. He converted over 3/4 of the extra points and led the defense in tackling, and as a result, Bobby was elected to every all-SEC team that was selected. After he graduated from college, he worked for the National Gypsum Company and then entered Nashville Law School and graduated in 1968. After passing the bar, he practiced briefly with his brother Tom, who later became a distinguished circuit court judge in Sumner County. Many of us have had the pleasure of working with and appearing before his brother, and then maintained a solo practice for a number of years. Now, while he was practicing law, Bobby became involved in developing residential properties. One of the first developments was being marketed to first-time home buyers. He eventually made the leap of faith and left a successful law practice to concentrate his energies on his development work. It is said that Bobby is not risk-averse, but he has exhibited great skill in bringing partners together, and that was added to the great negotiating skills he already had. To complement his business acumen, Bobby also exhibited uncommon fairness. It is said that even when he was selling the family home, he insisted on telling the prospective buyer everything that was wrong with the house. When asked why he was being so transparent, Bobby replied that disclosing everything to the buyer was the right thing to do. Bobby's son, Bob Jr., joined his father in the business after graduating from college. Bobby turned that business over to his son in 1991, and last year, Bob Jr. was recognized as National Builder of the Year by Professional Builders magazine. Bobby is a member of the First United Methodist Church in Gallatin and has served on its board. He has also served on the boards of the Gallatin Housing Authority, the Bluegrass Country Club, Sovereign Bank, and he is also an incorporator and board member of the First Independent Bank in Gallatin. Bobby remains surrounded by lawyers. While his brother Tom is deceased, his other brother Leon received his law degree from the University of South Carolina. In addition, his daughter Laura and his son-in-law Charlie are both graduates of the Nashville School of Law and successful attorneys here in Nashville. And just last month, his granddaughter Ann graduated from the Belmont University College of Law. Tonight, it is our great fortune to be able to honor Bobby Goodall for his exemplary career. To make this evening even more special, however, Bobby and Ann are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary tonight. And so, Bobby, please join me on the stage to enable all of us to recognize your life and work and to congratulate you and Betty Ann on your long and happy marriage.
Thank you. I am honored to appear here tonight before you, and I'm proud to be a graduate of the Nashville School of Law. It's been a short 60 years. It ended a little quick. And thanks again for being here. Thank you.
The Nashville School of Law does not often bestow its Community Service Award. In fact, the award has been given to only 4 other persons who are listed in your program. Its purpose is to recognize and honor individuals, not necessarily ones who are Nashville School of Law graduates, who have made singular contributions not just to the legal community, but to the broader community of Nashville and Tennessee. These are persons who have increased the sum of humanity. We have chosen to confer that award this year. When lawyers of a certain age gather these days, they often pose this question: who are the lions of the bar today? Tonight, we are conferring the Nashville School of Law's Community Service Award to a true lion of the bar, Charles H. Warfield. In the 90 years that he has been among us, Warfield, one of his common appellations, has demonstrated that he is, in the words of Julian Bibb, a Renaissance man. He has excelled in academic pursuits. He has practiced law with the highest degree of professionalism. He has immersed himself in the life and welfare of the community to such an extent that there are few institutions in Nashville that Warfield has not touched. He is a painter and a poet and an outdoorsman. But perhaps most important of all, he has single-handedly raised several generations of lawyers who in their own life and work continue to carry on the finest traditions of the practice of law. Warfield graduated from Vanderbilt Law School in 1949. He was elected to the Order of the Coif and served on the very first editorial board of the Vanderbilt Law Review. Justice William Harbison, another lion of the bar, was the editor-in-chief of that law review. And Cecil Branstetter, still yet another lion of the bar, was not only a special contributor to that first edition of the law review, but also consistently beat Warfield in their daily cribbage games in the law review office. Now, following graduation, Warfield began his practice just as many new lawyers do today. He hung out his shingle, sought appointments from the courts, and referrals from other lawyers. He eventually was the founding partner of Ferris, Warfield & Kennedy, which later became part of the law firm of Stites and Harbison, where he remains of counsel to this day. Warfield's contributions transcend the zealous and effective representation of his clients. In the early 1960s, he was called upon to serve on the second commission that wrote the charter that led to the creation of the metropolitan government of Nashville and Davidson County. In 1968, he and Harris Gilbert founded the Nashville Legal Aid Society, now the Legal Aid Society of Middle Tennessee and the Cumberlands. And for the past 47 years, Warfield has been an instrumental fundraiser, organizer, and cheerleader for legal aid. He still serves on the executive committee of that organization. For many years, he also served as the vice chair of the Fisk University Board of Trustees. And in 1983, if the New York Times has the story right, Warfield led a fundraising campaign that averted financial disaster at the school when the university's utilities were turned off for non-payment. In addition, Warfield was a member of a committee that established the Nashville Better Business Bureau. He served as the president of the BBB. He has been chair of the Nashville-Davidson County Red Cross chapter. He has been first vice chair of the Red Cross National Board. For many years, he was chair of the board at the Battleground Academy. He has also served as director of Third National Bank and as director of the Nashville office of SunTrust. He was also a founding member of the Tennessee Supreme Court Historical Society. During his 66 years at the bar, Warfield has been an active member of the American Bar Association, the Tennessee Bar Association, the Tennessee Bar Foundation, and the Nashville Bar Association. He has the distinction of being elected to the American College of Trial Lawyers, a distinction that very few lawyers share with him. And he was a founding member of the Harry Phillips American Inn of Court in 1990 and served as its president in 1994. Warfield was married in 1950 to the former Martha Hardcastle, who died in 1998. He now lives in Nashville. He attends, teaches at, and is a member of the administrative board of the Belmont United Methodist Church. He has 2 living sons, Charlie and Bill, who are with us this evening. Another son, Miles, is deceased. He also has 3 daughters-in-law, Betty, Sharon, and Janet, and 6 grandchildren. One of those grandchildren, Patrick, practices law in Nashville with the firm of Burr & Foreman, and he is also with us tonight. Warfield's professional accomplishments are monumental, but they are not his most important work. Perhaps his most significant work has been mentoring young lawyers, many of whom are no longer young and many of whom are here tonight. He has enriched their lives and careers by stressing the importance of serving their communities and the less fortunate and reminding them, quote, "You work to live, not live to work." His other piece of advice, quote, "You need to dance with your darlings," continues to ring in their ears even today. In 1848, Elder Joseph Brackett wrote a 1-verse song. Its melody is well known to everyone in this room. It's found in many hymnals, and it was popularized by Aaron Copland in Appalachian Spring. The first 4 lines of this song, which we all know, are, "'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free. 'Tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight." This evening, all of us are indeed in a place just right. By his life and work, Charlie Warfield has increased the sum of humanity. And so, Warfield, with our collective love and delight in you and your many accomplishments, the Nashville School of Law hereby bestows on you our Community Service Award for 2015.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. To be honored by the lawyers that I have practiced with for all of these years is the highest honor that a person could ever receive. As a child growing up, part of my life, my family lived with my aunt and uncle, and he was the circuit and criminal court clerk. The courthouse was just 2 blocks from the school I attended. And after school, I would walk up there, and court would be going on, and I would watch Mr. Stout and Mr. Porter and Mr. Cunningham, later Judge Cunningham, arguing cases. And Pam, that day, as a young boy, when the old lawyers would ask me at recess what I was going to be when I grew up, I said, and I never changed it, I'm going to be a lawyer. I have been proud. I have been proud all of these 90 years, not quite all of the 90 years, but I've been proud all the years that I've been a lawyer to tell people that I was a lawyer and I am proud because of the high standards that lawyers set in the Nashville bar. I thank you, Bill, for all of the good things that you are doing and the School of Law is doing. I'm very grateful to be here tonight. Let me give you all a tip. Just live to be 90 and somebody will give you a dinner. Thank you very much.
You should have no doubt why Warfield could have juries crying at the drop of a hat. We will end our evening with remarks from our chairman of our board, Tom Cone, himself a 1965 graduate of the Nashville School of Law.
Me and Charlie both are getting a little bit slow getting up to the podium. I want to thank everybody for being here again tonight. This is our 22nd annual recognition dinner. We've got a sold-out crowd, as you see, and that's attributable. Well, anyway, it's due to Charlie Newall's, and Charlie, I can't even see what table you're at. Charlie Newall's work with his great committee. If you'll come forward, I'd like to present you a little gift. I know this doesn't seem like much, but it shows our appreciation.
Well, I appreciate y'all.
We're totally committed to trying to keep you on this.
I'm happy to do it. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Joe. I'd also like to express my gratitude and appreciation to the board. As Dean Koch said a while ago, Frank Clement Jr., Frank DeWoda III, Douglas Fisher, and Aubrey Harwell, kind of over here in the corner. These men provide the guidance and a vision and help come by the money that keeps all this school running. I'd be remiss also if I didn't thank our president and dean, Bill Koch, our dedicated faculty and staff. They ensure that our students get a great education at the School of Law. The school has never been stronger than it is today, and each of you contributed to that by both attending the dinner and participating in other events that we have. Everybody likes my speech normally because it's really short. You know, you got about 3 minutes left to stay when I start talking. Thank everybody for being here. We'll plan to see you all next year and add some to you. Thank you.